Rafael Grossi, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, returned from Iran a few days ago after concluding high-level talks with the Iranian President Pezeshkian, with the Foreign Minister Araghchi, and with Islami, the head of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran. Now, he walked away from those talks with 3 big wins. This was the first time he sat down face-to-face with Pezeshkian, his first visit since May to Iran, so there was a resumption of diplomacy there. Second, he got Iran to agree or to consider adding 4 new IAEA inspectors in lieu of the ones that had been blacklisted, and perhaps most importantly, he got Iran to pause its enrichment of uranium, which has now reached the level of 60%, so that the stockpiles would no longer grow. Grossi wrapped up his visit just in time for the Board of Governors meeting. Now, that Board of Governors, they came out with a resolution, they meaning Britain, the United States, Germany and France, where they essentially scolded Iran. They want more surveillance equipment to be installed, a halt to Iran's uranium enrichment, for it to dispose of its stockpiles of 60% enriched uranium and to go back to JCPOA levels. They want Iran to adhere to its joint statement with the IAEA from March 2023, which also references the Black Box Agreement from February 2021, and they want Iran to re-implement the additional protocol, and of course for the inspectors to be lifted from the blacklist. Now, that resolution was passed by the US, UK, France and Germany, in addition to Spain, Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Ecuador, Ukraine, Canada, Georgia, Japan, South Korea, Morocco, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Paraguay. However, at the same time, you had 12 abstentions. So that South Africa, India, Pakistan, Indonesia, Brazil, Ghana, Thailand, Algeria, Armenia, Bangladesh, Colombia, Egypt, and of course the 3 no votes coming from China, coming from Russia and Burkina Faso under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Now, that resolution at the Board of Governors seems to have backfired. Just this morning, the Foreign Ministry in Tehran issued a joint statement with the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, the AEOI, saying that they were going to put cascades online. Now, cascades are rows of centrifuges. They had apparently warned Grossi about this while he was visiting, and he had toured the facilities at Fordo and Natanz, the fuel enrichment plants there, and told him that were such an outcome to transpire at the Board of Governors, Iran would respond in this manner. So that was, we can assume, communicated or passed along to the US, to the UK, to France and Germany. If you look at the number of abstentions as well, 12, with 3 votes against, and you compare that to the 19 votes in favor, it shows a very divided Board of Governors. So this has been a very premature decision, according to the Foreign Ministry and the AEOI. They're saying that it was completely uncalled for, and it's imperiled the constructive atmosphere that they were able to advance during Grossi's visit in Tehran. But it seems to be headed for escalation now as Iran continues to grow those stockpiles of 60% enriched uranium and leaves the door open for its nuclear doctrine and for its strategic posture to potentially be renegotiated or revised internally. You have many lawmakers now within Iran openly calling for the fatwa, the religious decree issued by the Supreme Leader Khamenei against nuclear weapons, to be withdrawn, and for Iran to develop and go ahead with the development of nuclear weapons in order to safeguard its national interests and the interests of the axis of resistance. This situation here is entirely related to everything that's happening in Gaza and everything that is happening in Ukraine. Iran has crafted new relations, strategic long-term relations with China and with Russia, and these talks here to bring the United States back into the fold fell apart actually on the eve of the war in Ukraine. So the two are inextricably intertwined and related. When it comes to Gaza, Israel has been threatening to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. We've seen several tit-for-tat strikes between Iran and Israel, so those could very well still happen. But it's very clear now that things are escalating, and that olive branch that was extended to the West when Grossi was in Tehran, where they told him, well, we will stop fuel enrichment at 60% for the time being, to give you time to go back to Vienna and pass that message along. That seems to have been withdrawn now, and this resolution that's just been passed by the Board of Governors seems to have completely backfired. Now, last but not least, they're calling for a full report by spring 2025. Donald Trump will be in the White House by January. That leaves just 10 months before the nuclear deal and the UN Security Council resolution supporting it completely fall apart. So not a lot of time left and not a lot of will on either side to pick up the pieces of this agreement.